call the July 8th, 2025 meeting of the Christiansburg Town Council to order. Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Jenkins and Ms. Hicks have asked to join by phone. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop. Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hockett. Councilman Wilson.
That's 4-0. Thank you. Welcome, Casey and Joanna.
Thank you.
Today, and with all of our council meetings, we like to start with a moment of reflection. And today is, I'm going to ask us to reflect on a couple of things that have happened in the past week. Certainly, the victims of the flooding down in Texas. Certainly, you know, those families and the 100 or so people that were lost in such a tragic event. And secondly, I'm going to ask that we keep our police department and our rescue squad members in your thoughts and prayers, as they had a very, very tough call this afternoon. And we can't go into any details on it, but it was very emotional, very draining. So if we would take a moment and keep these folks in our thoughts and prayers.
Take your mic off. Your mic. There you go. You got your pledge. Okay.
Thank you. If you will all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm going to ask Councilman Sam Bishop.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll go to public hearings, and tonight we have a public hearing, a conditional use permit request by Main Street Preservation LLC property owner and Joseph L. Simmons applicant to allow a residential.
Mayor, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I may be cutting out, but is there any way that we can adjust the agenda and be able to speak about the farmers market in the this month work session?
I didn't catch it. I'm not sure what you were asking, Joanna.
She wants to move the work session.
I was trying to make a
Scheduled for
change
next-
on the
next
agenda and
Wednesday.
see if we can move the work session.
I think Randy said
For
we
next
can
month.
discuss that later in the meeting under his manager's comments, but I don't see a problem with it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Conditional use permit request by Main Street Preservation LLC property owner and Joseph L. Simmons applicant to allow residential use, specifically the construction of 10 townhomes on property located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Roanoke Street and Robert Street, approximately 1.008 acres, tax parcel 528-35-1 in the B3 General Business District. The property is designated business commercial on the future land use map, the 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan. Anyone here to address this? All right. Seeing no one, I will remind council that at your seats you have a public comment that we received this afternoon from an anonymous citizen on Robert Street. It's about 2.5 pages of, the gist of it is they're not in favor of us granting that permit. One, because there was not a plan submitted, but at this point, I talked to the owner this morning, and Mr. Simmons is just trying to sell the property. And there are no plans, he's got no one to buy to develop, but he understands that whoever buys that property will have to submit all their plans and drawing to the town, just like anybody else would. So it's not a carte blanche bill, what you want. We can put the restrictions and stuff on them at that time. Is that correct, Daria? Does that sound reasonable?
There we go. Hello, everyone. So if the conditional use permit is approved, that would be the time to put any conditions on the property. If someone comes back with a plan set, it would go through our standard site plan review, even with the condition to come back to Planning Commission with those plans, they wouldn't be able to put conditions on it.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Anyone else to address this issue? Hearing none, I will close the public hearings. Under the consent agenda, we have the approval of the minutes of June 24th, 2025, the bill list, purchase order to Joe Johnson Equipment for the purchase of a new vacuum street sweeper in the amount of $399,500, award a construction contract to DM Painting Corporation for the Buffalo Water Tank Rehabilitation Project in the amount of $1,361,240. And to set a public hearing for August the 26th, conditional use permit request by Lauren Ashley Elizabeth Potts and Dustin Storm Potts, property owners and applicant, to allow for a single-chair beauty parlor as a major home occupation on property located at 450 Hemlock Street Northeast, a .331 acre, tax parcel number 529-19-3 in the R2 two-family residential district. Property is designated as residential in the future land use map, 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any comments or questions?
I do have a couple of bill questions. Again, do you want to do that now, or?
Might as well.
Okay. Again, I'm learning, so y'all bear with me. On page 11, there's three, at the top, there's three charges to Express Services, Inc. for landscaping, labor for the cemetery, totaling somewhere around $10,000. And it's under street operations. Is that, I'm a little confused. Is that in the wrong place, or is that for the cemetery? Is there?
That's where it got coded. I will have to look into that and get back to you. I'll let Randy.
Okay, it just seemed
I'll
kind of
check
weird
into
to me, so.
Yeah, I don't know if the cemetery part is incorrect or if the street coding is incorrect.
Okay,
I'll
if you could
that
check
later.
on that, I'd appreciate that. And the other question, and again, it's one of those like the Disney from the last bill list. I'm sure it's okay, but I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. And perhaps some of this questions can go away if we can get just a little bit more description, so that members here and citizens out here, when they look at that, can get a good gist of where the money's going. But it wasn't a lot. It was for zoo, and I'm pretty sure it's probably buddy camp. For Parks and Rec, but it doesn't say that. Anybody looking at that's going to say why.
What page number are you on? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
hold on just a minute. Page 6 of 12.
Okay.
And it's about 3/4 of the way down the page, but it says Danielle Nixon, zoo admission, $450, Parks and Rec. I'm assuming that's like some type of camp.
Probably buddy camp would
Okay.
be my guess, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a petting zoo, I believe, that they had over there for.
Nice.
For one of those events.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks. Councilwoman Hicks. Councilwoman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins. Councilman Wilson,
Aye.
That's 5, and I'm not sure, and a 1 not sure. That's all right. We'll go with that. Under introductions and presentations, we have introducing 2 Planning Commission candidates, Helen Lyman, is it Lyman? And Larry Day. And Helen, I'm going to ask if you'll come up and to the podium and give us a little bit of background.
Good afternoon. My name is Helen Lyman. I am retired. I moved to Christiansburg in 2022. Before retirement, I spent 40 years in real estate development in Northern Virginia. I've developed everything from, or worked on the development teams for Tyson's Corner Center, if you're familiar with the small shopping center up there. I spent a lot of time in Georgetown, and I also worked on the master planning committee for Herndon, Virginia. And so in 2022, I moved here to Christiansburg. I am a forever student. I love learning, which is probably one of my strongest attributes. So that, along with my experience, I'm hoping makes me a good candidate for the Planning Commission. Can I answer any questions for anyone?
Any comments, questions? Thank you. And she lives close by, so she won't miss a meeting because of weather. Larry Day. Larry, would you come forward?
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you all for having me. So good evening, everybody. Like I say, my name is Larry Day. I stand before you tonight to express my sincere interest in serving on the Christiansburg Planning Commission today. I'm a proud resident of this town. I moved here in 2008. I live in the Fallen Branch region of the town. So I care about the future of our community, its growth, its character, its long-term sustainability. I believe that planning isn't just about zoning maps or site plans. It's about shaping the kind of community we want to reside in. It's about preserving what makes Christiansburg special, while thoughtfully preparing for the opportunities and challenges ahead. I have a background in development. I'm chairman of the Construction and Development Committee for Habitat for Humanity since around 2012. I've served on its board. I'm currently ex officio board member for Habitat here locally. I've been several construction developments. I had worked for VDOT for several years. And so I work for an engineering firm based in Roanoke, but we do projects here and things like that. So I think hopefully that would make me a natural step for me to serve on this planning commission. Understand that the planning decisions affect not only our local economy, but the environment, the quality of life, and the way our neighborhoods feel for those as we live in them. I value transparency, collaboration, long-term thinking. If appointed, I will listen with intention, research thoroughly, and work intricately to help ensure the decisions made by this commission reflect both the town's comprehensive plan and the voices of my fellow residents. Thank you for this candidacy opportunity.
Thank you, Larry. Any comments, questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is citizens' comment section where we ask citizens that would like to come forward to address council. You have 3 minutes. If you would give us your name and your address and address your comments to the chairman. Is anyone here who'd like to speak? Hearing no one, I will close citizens' comments. Committee reports. Let me just say, have any committees met since the last meeting?
No.
No meetings? Very good. We can move on with that one. Discussion and action by mayor and council. The first thing on the agenda is the certification of our fire officers, and I think it is in your agenda packet. Each year we have to we have to approve the management staff and the line officers. Is I guess that's the best way to put this thing for 2025 to 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussions? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop,
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks, Councilwoman Hicks,
I think I heard an aye.
Councilwoman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins, Councilman Wilson,
Aye.
Okay. It carried. Next is the appointment of Larry Day and Helen Lehman to the Planning Commission for a 4-year term beginning July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2029.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We have met our candidates, Larry and Helen, and I've reviewed their resumes. I think they bring a lot to the table. We got a motion and a second. Any comments or discussions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Bishop,
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks, Councilwoman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins, Councilman Wilson,
Aye.
The motion carries. The reappointment of Hill Johnson to the New River Valley Regional Commission Board of Commissioners for a 3-year term, July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2028.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Comments or questions?
I do have a comment. Even though we reappoint personnel, I would still like for them to come before town council.
I agree.
Okay.
Just because we know them, we still
From
like to
Planning
see for
Commission, yeah.
whoever it may be. I mean,
Okay.
like reappointment.
All right, we'll ask Hill to maybe come give us an update in the very near future. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop,
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks, Councilwoman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins, Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Oh, it wasn't I? Okay.
Recommendation to the Montgomery County Board of Supervisors for reappointment of Mayor Michael Barber to the Montgomery Regional Economic Development Commission for a 3-year term, August 1, 2025 to July 31st, 2028. And I will say as my term, as I'm up for reelection in November, if I do not return to office, then council will appoint a successor at that point.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Comments, questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop,
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins, Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
That motion carries also. Staff reports, Town Manager.
Just mention that Virginia Municipal League is in Roanoke this year. It'll be October 12th through the 14th. And if council's interested in attending, if you could, let Tracy know. Also, it is at Hotel Roanoke. If you would want a room for council to rest in or something like that, let us know, and we would try to get that ahead of time for you. But rooms do book up, so if you would want that, let us know.
Yeah.
And also, I mentioned Miss Hicks wanted me to bring up, and I guess maybe since the issue with the microphone, she wanted to request to move the work session from July 16th in regards to the farmers market to August 20th and cancel the July 16th work session.
Are we having the farmer's market at the Huckleberry Park in the meantime?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
As long as we're not holding up any of the progress or decisions that the Parks and Rec team are working on, then I'm fine with that, canceling and meeting in August.
I'm good.
I'm in agreement to push it off.
Same here.
Casey, sound all right to you?
That's fine.
Joanna? Sound all right to you? Kim's nodding her head, so it must be okay. All right, thank you.
That's all I have.
That's it. All right. Mr. Broughton,
No report, thank you.
any other staff? Very good. Council reports, Mr. Bishop,
No report.
Ms. Hockett.
Just want to thank all of the Parks and Rec team and the Public Relations team for all the great work on the 4th of July Festival and the beautiful fireworks. So just awesome job to and the Public Works team and EMS being out there with the cooling station. Just great job by everybody. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was a great event. Tim, you got anything?
Yeah, just echo what Ms. Hockett
Ms.
said.
Bowman?
I agree. I was able to come downtown for a few hours, and it was nice. I really appreciate the new area that we have over here by Town Hall for people to sit. I'm assuming we're going to get some umbrellas for that.
Don't know that we have that planned, but we can
Yeah.
talk about it.
One of the things that I noticed was we had this beautiful area, and it was so stinking hot. Nobody was sitting there because it's in the sun. So I think umbrellas would be a really nice addition for the summer. And I really like this area over here where you put in for the bus and everything. It's definitely a step up for putting some seating out there for people for these kind of events. Thank you.
I had a lot of compliments and comments from citizens in attendance that they really liked the setup on this end of town. I think there is the potential, there's a whole lot more shade, and we were able to condense the vendors instead of having to walk 3.5 blocks to see everybody. It was all in a pretty condensed form, so that's food for thought. I'd like to tip my hat again to all of our departments, and especially to our recreation department. That was an 18-hour day by the time they got through with this and finished up with the fireworks. So we got our money's worth out of them on Friday for sure. Is there any other business to come before council?
I'd like to make a motion for a closed meeting under Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A1 for discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body, and evaluation of performance of departments or schools of public institutions of higher education where such evaluation will necessarily involve discussion of the performance of specific individuals. The closed meeting is being held for discussion of the town manager position.
First the motion, I second.
That's a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop, Councilwoman Bowman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks, Councilwoman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins,
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
Very good. We're going to take about 3 or 4 minute break in order to clear the council chambers. I'll gavel us back to order in, like I said, 3 or 4 minutes. Thank you all for coming out. Those that don't stay around, but thank you.